So an advisory committee met yesterday on Tuesday to review Merck's supplemental BLA, that's a biologics license application for their blockbuster immunotherapy Keytruda, and it's in treating triple negative breast cancer. Well, the FDA seems absolutely dead set against approving Keytruda for triple negative breast cancer. In their briefing document, they said this is interesting. I'll quote it here or read it here. The FDA has repeatedly expressed concerns about the Keynote 522 trial design and results to the applicant and discouraged submission of the marketing application. So they discouraged Merck from even submitting this SBLA. Well, yesterday, the advisory committee voted unanimously to defer the decision till Merck has more data. So Brian, do you think Merck should have done anything differently in this situation instead of just forging right ahead in view of the FDA's seeming adamance against approving it?
Yeah, I think it might be an issue of just timing of the data that the FDA wants versus how long it's going to take to get that data. So the issue here is that Merck wanted to use pathological complete response, and they're looking at really early stage breast cancer patients that are having surgery. So the recurrence is going to take a long time, and then if you're going to measure survival, fortunately for the breast cancer patients, it's going to take a really long time to be able to show a difference between surgery plus then taking Keytruda versus surgery on its own. And so I think the issue is Merck just didn't want to wait, and so they were trying to get a surrogate endpoint beforehand that would give them enough data that they could convince the FDA to approve it. And then when the data didn't look that great, now you're at the point, well, it's only a few $1 million to submit the application, so maybe we give it a whirl, I guess. I mean, it seems like they were throwing away money at that point once the FDA is discouraging them from submitting a marketing application. It's probably not really worth your effort at that point. But I guess it's in the large scheme of things, and the billions of dollars that Merck is earning each year, the cost of submitting an application is only a few million. So maybe it's not that big of a deal to gamble. I mean, I think that's basically what it was. They were gambling that maybe there'd be enough pressure on the FDA to see that pathological complete response was enough to approve a drug, even though I think the FDA's argument and the advisory committee's agreement is that the evidence for pathological complete response resulting in a better pathological complete response results in better overall survival is not good enough for us to justify approving it with just pathological complete response.
Right. And we should note that even if the FDA gives a thumbs down, it doesn't mean that Merck can't later get approval for Keytruda in this indication. So it's still a possibility that they could come back with more data and get approval.
Right. Yeah. So I think the clinical trial might still be going on, right? So they're still going to follow the patients and look at overall survival. And so I think the issue here is just the FDA. The Merck was sort of in a like a waiting stage, waiting for that other data. And so do you just roll the dice? And they rolled the dice, and it came up crap. So they'll move on and roll the dice again when the overall survival data comes in.